Welcome to SpiderGrinding. This is the Broken Ranks progression series focused on my level 140 Fire Mage, SpiderGrind. So this series is going to follow along with SpiderGrind as he works his way through the game, getting stronger, getting new gear, leveling up his gear, encrusting his gear, all of that, and as he tackles new challenges. Ultimately, my goal is to defeat the final boss of Broken Ranks, Sidraga, as well as just become one of the strongest fire mages in the game and do all the cool things that entails, such as solo Admiral, maybe even solo Hard Admiral someday, and just really pushing the envelope of what is possible in Broken Ranks and what is possible for a fire mage to achieve. So those are lofty goals. It's going to take us a while to get there. And the first thing I need to do is level up my drifts, because in order to be a strong character in Broken Ranks, you need to have very strong drifts, which give you all the combat bonuses you need to tackle harder and harder challenges. One of the things I've really been slacking on SpiderGrind is a Lorn, which is damage reduction. So, in order to defeat difficult enemies, you need to have a lot of damage reduction so you don't just get one shot by them. And so I've been leveling up my Lorn. I started out at 5%. I'm now closing in on 10%. My goal is to get around 25% a Lorn in the next, let's say, month or so. And that will allow me to progress from doing this easy Construct V2 to doing normal Construct V2. I'm estimating that's going to take me about 5,000 kill count on V2. I'm currently around 3,300, so getting to 5,000 shouldn't take that long. These are about 2.5 to 3.5 minute runs, so definitely a grind, but very doable. And once I graduate from doing easy Construct V2 into doing normal Construct V2, I should be able to progress a lot faster, get a lot more tracks, get a lot more drops for shards and orbs, and just really start coming into my own. So very much looking forward to progressing through this grind with you guys and showing you how it goes. I'm sure there's going to be some unexpected setbacks as well as some very exciting times ahead. So let's finish off this V2 and then show you what I'm working with. Alright, so do we get a drop? Do we get a blue? No blue. Not a problem. That was, I believe, kill count 3,300. Yes, it was. Okay. So in that time, we've dropped 25 items, 25 blues. Coming up to number 4 on the leaderboard here. I'm hoping that I never pass Chiquita Gallo or Janet Proud, because by the time I get to around 5,000 easy V2 kills, I should be on to normal mode. So a ways to go until then, but I'm making good progress with my drifts recently. I recently capped out these 2 drifts, so now I'm working on my Lorn here. It's level 6 right now. I want to take that to level 11. And while I'm doing that, I'm also going to be leveling up my crit. So if you look at my drifts here, 9.5% damage reduction, clearly that needs to have a big boost. I have a couple buy Alorns that I'm going to slot in as I finish leveling this one. So there's going to be a lot of room to grow there. And the reason I'm also leveling my Magni Band there is because my critical hit chance is not that good either. So 31.25 it's okay, but I definitely like to have more. It's one of the most impactful drifts a DPS can have, so really pushing to boost that higher. Obviously, Worm, the epic weapon, would be great because it has crit and double attack on it, the 2 most important drifts for a DPS, plus it gets empowerment from the epic. Unfortunately, I just have the Admiral Trident right now, so with any luck, the series will eventually show me getting Worm, but, we'll just have to stick around and see if that ever happens. In my depot, I have a couple upgrades, actually. Let me go show you what's in my depots so you can get an idea of what's to come in the future. Let's see here. So it's in this tab. Alright, so I have some random stuff that I'm going to shatter for shards later on, but I have this Zala that I will replace the Fire Mage 100 set piece with. That's going to be a huge upgrade in terms of survivability. That's going to be very necessary for doing normal V2 because it gives so much more energy and fire resist as well as physical resist. Very important for the increased damage that normal V2 is going to do. And then I also have Airy Arches here, which is going to be a nice boost of stats over the Burge list that I'm currently using. So you can see even without upgrades, it is a decent chunk more stats, plus it's going to give me more drift slots, more drift capacity, and that's just going to be super necessary for what I want to do. So yeah, eventually I will be repairing those, upgrading those, and equipping those, but right now I'm just working on leveling up my drifts, so there's a little bit of a ways to go before I'm ready to use those items, but very excited to show how this progress goes, and looking forward to getting some blues along the way, and just seeing how the RNG treats us. So that is my introduction to spider grinding. I will be putting out more videos as I progress throughout the game over time. Probably looking at a video every week or two. Broken Ranks is a slow and grindy game, so it's going to take a while, but yeah, I'm going to enjoy the process, and I hope you enjoy following along. Alright, so I thought the video was going to be over after I showed you the Easy V2 and talked about the goals for the series, but I'm actually jumping into the future here, giving you a sneak peek of 5 to 6 weeks from when I recorded that. So I didn't intend to add this addendum to the video, but today White Moon has just released an update to Broken Ranks, which might change everything for the future of this series. So before I talk about that, I do have 5 or 6 weeks of progression on SpiderGrind that I've recorded. I will be making it into videos, probably posting one a week for the next 5 weeks or so. And you will see everything I've been doing since then. So a lot of Easy V2 has been run, some other things, a lot of progression and upgrades, and very exciting stuff has been going on. I'm really pleased with where my character's gone. However, I need to talk about this update. So actually, the reason I'm running Adventure Tit right now is because part of the update buffed Tit. So the Psycho XP given by the boss is better now. Easy V2 is still better Psycho XP per hour. However, normal Tit gives better tertiary, so it gives more tracks. It gives probably better rare, or like more frequent rare drops. It might give more frequent epic drops. Not really sure on that, but easy mode traditionally seems to have really bad drop rate, and normal mode has better drop rate, so I would expect normal Tit to have better drop rate for both rares and epics than Easy V2. But yeah, that's why I'm running Adventure Tit right now, just to get a feel for if it is worth running instead of Easy V2. So spoiler alert, I did not get to the 5,000 Easy V2 mark yet. I am still working on that, but there's a chance that 5 or 6 weeks from now you'll see a video where I transition to doing normal Tit, if I end up finding that normal Tit is actually better than Easy V2. So that's one thing that's going on. Another thing is they released daily and weekly tasks. So this is a new system where you're given different things to do, and if you do them, you get rewards. So, pretty simple stuff. I think a lot of games have this. Not exactly a shocker there. We've known this was coming, we just didn't know exactly how it would be implemented. And the daily system, honestly, is pretty good. So the daily system is you get four tasks every day, and if each one you complete gives you some gold. If you complete all of them, you get even more gold, and you also get some psycho experience. So It's honestly a lot of gold, which I like. Having more access to gold is nice, makes repairing items easier. It makes doing Marana easier. It makes moving drifts around easier. I like that. The one thing I don't like about the daily system is this cumulative bonus system where every day where you complete all of your dailies, you get a bonus the next day to your reward. So if you do it for 7 days in a row, you're going to get a 50% bonus to all your gold and psycho experience you gain for as long as you keep doing your dailies every day. And then if you miss a day, it resets back down to 0 and you'll have to work back all the way up again. I don't love that kind of system. I think it's kind of predatory. Reminds me of a lot of mobile games that really just strong arm you into logging in every day. Not my favorite thing in the world, but ultimately a bit more gold, not a big deal. I wouldn't feel too bad about missing out on my streak and starting over again. Like, in the grand scheme of things, like a few 100k gold is pretty easy to get. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the daily system. The weekly system, however, is a big problem, and it's a problem to the extent that it's putting myself and a lot of people in my guild and a lot of people on my server off of the game. So a lot of people expect that they'll be playing less. A lot of people might even be quitting because of this update if it does not get rolled back or seriously reworked. So in case you're not familiar with what the update has added with this weekly system, basically there's a bunch of tasks you need to do, and every task will give a certain amount of keys. It looks like tasks will give you 1 key if they're like pretty easy, or they'll give you up to 18 keys if it's more challenging, expensive, time consuming. And you want to get 100 keys every week in order to unlock the maximum weekly bonus. So already it's kind of looking really tedious, honestly. Like if most of the tasks give you 1 key, you'll have to do 100 of those tasks every week. Now, some of them will give more, so you'll realistically have to do less, but the ones that give more are also expensive, right? And some of them are really expensive and encourage you to do content that is both expensive and unrewarding. So, for example, one of the tasks that you can get is doing 4 hard mode admirals. So not only do you not have any agency in what you can do, so it's not like do 4 hard mode Baron bosses where you could choose to do Selena or Mahet or Marana, whatever you want to do. You specifically have to do hard mode Admiral. And I mean, the problem with that is now you're spending your time on hard mode Admiral. Now you're spending your tracks on hard mode Admiral. And tracks are limited, right? Like, tracks are expensive. Tracks are not particularly easy to get. You want to be making the most of your tracks, so a lot of people are using them on hard mode Droggle, where they have the best chance at getting shards, or hard mode Marana, where they get the most Daemonite. At least if they can't do hard mode Mahet consistently. So forcing us to use our tracks to do hard mode Admiral is really punishing. Just the tracks to do those 4 runs would cost about 1,200 platinum on the server, it's not an insignificant amount. Like 1,200 platinum, that's expensive. That's really expensive. If you want to be doing your weeklies, you have to do that. Or you could re-roll that one. It costs about 6 or 7 platinum to re-roll the task and have a chance at getting another one. I don't know how many times you would expect to do that in a week, and you might just have to do a lot of the kind of low key value tasks. This wouldn't really be a big deal if the rewards weren't very good, but here's the other problem: is getting those 100 keys and unlocking the best reward for the weekly is critical. It's not just a nice little bonus. It's not just some gold. It's not just like some bonus psycho experience or something like that. It is an actual buff to your strength in combat. It is a It is a buff to your stats, and it is a buff to your psycho modifiers. Some of the most important psycho modifiers at that, like critical hit chance and double attack. You're going to get those boosted by this weekly challenge buff to an extent that not having this buff will mean that you're meaningfully weaker than other players who do have the buff. Like, seriously weaker. So you're going to feel really bad if you're playing the game and you're not getting that buff. You're going to just be less capable of doing content than the people who are doing their weeklies and getting that buff. But the problem is, you know, in order to get that buff, you have to do all sorts of content that is unrewarding and expensive and tedious. So that sucks, right? We're being forced to spend hours and hours doing crap that is not fun gameplay just so we can be as strong as we possibly can be every week. And if you don't do that, well, then that also sucks because you're going to feel weak all the time. And it also sucks because people have a limited amount of time, and you're going to be spending more of that time on this stuff now, right? Like, they're going to be spending time using Fire Shield to kill Yetis. And that means when you're making your groups to do content that is fun and rewarding, you're going to have trouble finding people to do that content because they're busy doing their daily or weekly tasks. So it's just a massive downgrade in being able to have fun in the game overall for everybody. I don't know what the devs were thinking when they designed the system. I guess they just thought force players to do more stuff and it's good. But like, the point of a game is to be fun, and this is not fun. And most of the people in my guild think the same way. A lot of us are going to be playing less, if not quitting the game entirely. I really don't know what this means for the future of SpiderGrinding. I hope that the devs will hear the feedback and respond quickly to remove the buffs that increase your combat capability. I'm fine with things that improve your quality of life outside of combat, but making you stronger in combat it just completely sidesteps the core game loop. I don't think there's any place for that in this game, and they should remove that. That's the biggest issue, and in addition, they should revise these tasks so that the players have more agency in them. You know, don't force us to do a particular boss. Allow us to do any boss, like, you know, any hard mode Baron boss instead of specifically hard mode Admiral, or make tasks that aren't kind of contrived, forcing you to go kill Yetis with Fire Shield, right? Like, give us tasks that are actually worth doing. And then I think people would be a lot happier with the system. They would want to play. They might even want to engage with the system, or at the very least, they wouldn't feel like they're missing out if they don't want to engage in the system. But yeah, this is potentially a threat for the future of the series if it means I end up quitting or playing less. But I really enjoy the game. I hope that I can keep progressing. I hope that I can get to the point where I'm doing fast and efficient normal mode V2s, and get to the point where I'm running Sadraga on my Fire Mage, get to the point where I'm even pushing for whatever content comes next in the next couple of years, right? It would be a blast to do that. I love this game. The devs are so bad at making systems like this. They're so bad at figuring out how to make content rewarding, or how to make systems rewarding specifically. Like, it's the PvP system, it's this new weekly system. They don't know how to develop systems. It just makes the game worse, and it's so frustrating every time they do this. But yeah, we'll see what happens. In the meantime, there's going to be at least several weeks of content to catch up to this point, where you'll get to see how far I've come since this first video. Really looking forward to showing you guys that, and I've had a blast making these videos. So yeah, stay tuned and take care.